Good morning. My name is Fred Kowal. I am statewide president of United University Professions. UUP represents the professional and academic staff at SUNY's state-operated campuses, SUNY's public teaching hospitals, and system administration. Thank you all for joining us today. I see UUP members, community leaders, and student advocates here, all who are joining together, as in years past, including last year, when we finally turned the page on the austerity budgets of the previous governor. Well, we are here today to reiterate the critical, immediate need to reverse the multi-million-dollar deficits affecting SUNY Brockport and SUNY Geneseo. SUNY Brockport faces a $9.9 million projected deficit, and nearby SUNY Geneseo faces a $10 million deficit. This is simply unacceptable, and to speak candidly, cause for very serious concern. These campuses, along with all of SUNY's colleges, universities, and public teaching hospitals, drive their regional economies and are vital to New York State's statewide economy. Economic development is defined as the creation of wealth from which community benefits are realized. SUNY is economic development. The economic returns on investing in SUNY are indisputable. SUNY is a living, breathing vessel comprised of the future change makers of our world, and for that matter, right now. State leaders, right now, are depriving SUNY of the oxygen needed for SUNY to grow, expand, and create a better future for our students and indeed our communities. We cannot let these campuses and communities fail due to a lack of proper funding. Statewide, SUNY has an economic impact of nearly $30 billion per year, flowing through over 80% of New York's industries. Additionally, there are 1.8 million SUNY graduates participating in the workforce, and SUNY is one of the top 10 largest employers in every region outside of New York City. Just here in the Finger Lakes, SUNY employs over 5,000 people and supports an additional 10,800 jobs for a total economic impact of over $1.3 billion. 188,000 SUNY alumni have settled in the Finger Lakes region, with almost 2/3 of them being graduates of a Finger Lakes SUNY institution. In communities across the state, SUNY contributes to a more diverse and highly educated population by providing cultural resources, physical assets, and a critical mass of intellectual, civic, and economic activity that filters into neighborhoods, businesses, and public spaces. Investing in these communities through proper funding from SUNY helps the state. SUNY campuses, including employees, students, and visitors, stimulate their local economies through the purchase of goods and services. Those dollars circulate through the state and regional economy, and every state dollar invested in SUNY yields a return of over $8. As we head toward another budget announcement from the governor and the upcoming legislative session, UUP is committed to advocating for much-needed operating aid for SUNY campuses and the local communities where they are located. Let's make this year the year that we put the public back in public higher education, which can only be accomplished through a full financial commitment by the state, ending the reliance on tuition to fund the system, along with ever-rising fees, and return to a time when SUNY was the public higher education system that the nation looked to as the greatest. SUNY is a public good with real public value, and it deserves to be funded as such. We cannot fix the underfunding problem by limiting class options, overcrowding classrooms, raising tuition, or continuously raising the workload on the members of UUP. It is long overdue that New York's leaders and lawmakers take action to provide the necessary funding and ensure that every New Yorker can access quality higher education from our public university system. SUNY schools are under untenable pressure and Albany must act immediately to alleviate the financial burden that has been placed on these institutions. It's time to fully fund SUNY campuses today for the security of our students and for their tomorrow. It's vitally important that we understand that SUNY can be a change agent, individually with the lives that we touch every day in our classrooms, in our libraries, in our counseling rooms, but also society-wide in dealing with the climate crisis, the healthcare crisis we face, the nursing shortage that Dave talked about. All of these things can be addressed through the institution of SUNY. Will it take a lot of resources? Yes. I hearken back to, my staff will laugh because they know that I quote President Kennedy far too often. 60 years ago last month at Rice University, he gave a speech about going to the moon. And he said, we take on these challenges not because they are easy, but because they are hard. That is what we are facing right now in SUNY. It is incumbent on all of us to welcome the challenge of rebuilding this great system. Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. It will test us, but it will show us to be true holders of the future and those who will live in that future in our hands. And they trust us to do the right thing, so let us do so.